over the past 10 years, I have read nearly all of the time management and productivity books. So I'm here to share to you what 10 things that really helped me manage my time in this video. Time management tip number 1 is we own all the time that we have. You see, when I had this idea in my mind, I came to think about it like it is kind of true because I get to decide what to do with my 24 hours every single day throughout my life. If there is something that I want to accomplish, I will accomplish. If there is something that I do not want to do, I can simply have the choice not to. So that gave me a power of control. That has helped me to gain my control back of my life and the time and what to do with it. Before that, I used to think that no, time is something that is not all for me, is not all under my control or management, because it is for other people that I have to work for sometimes or give it to them based on their needs. But then I get to decide and realize, no, actually, it all boils down to what I really want in my life and what to do with my actual time. Time management tip number 2, hell yeah or no. Simply what that means is if something comes up to your mind or in your day, either you go with it with a hell yeah mindset or you simply reject it. You don't need to stay in between or be half-hearted. You can either do what you're supposed to do or take whatever comes on your way and learn from that experience. Or if you feel like it doesn't fit your daily activity, goal or task or project or whatever, you can just say no. And you can learn from both. Why? Because you've put yourself in a position where you're accountable for your decisions. So you do take that responsibility because you understand what we just spoke about. Tip number 1 is we do have control over our time. So now once you have that control mindset, you know what things you are benefiting and learning from and what things you are missing out from. Time management tip number 3, daily highlights. What that simply means is every single day, set one task, one main goal to accomplish for that day. It doesn't need to be something that you have to physically do or work at. It could be just, guess what? Today my daily highlight is to recover from the pain or effort that I have been through for, these given days. Like today's highlight is I just want to have that peace of mind and I just want to relax so I can get my energy back in order to do more in the future. There's a book called The One Thing Which Has Changed My Life. I always speak about this book. I've made a couple of videos about it as well. And it is this book that truly I am blessed with. I only knew it after actually doing consultation. And my consultant told me, I feel like you've got so many things to do. You're all over the place. So read this book. It will definitely help you on what is that one thing that if you do, everything else will, be irrelevant. And so that book really changed my life. So I recommend everybody to grab a copy and read it because it will keep your mind focused. You're going to feel so light and you're going to always live in your present moment. You're going to make it easy for you how to choose your one thing. It will give you so many different ideas. It will give you so many different strategies and explanations, which it has given me on how to actually not feel bad, not focusing on one thing only. Because I used to be before like, no, but I cannot sacrifice this for that. They are both important to me. But then I realized, no, actually, if we did give it a little bit more thought, we would understand that there is always this one daily highlight or one main goal we have to accomplish that would take us to the next step. And that one thing will put everything into its place by default. Time management tip number 4. Simply use a to-do list. I use a to-do list with my phone. I would go into the notes, I would write all the things that I want to do, and then I will take the things which I want to accomplish and organize them on specific dates. So I'll say, okay, these are the things which I want to do in general, like this year or the next 5 years or today. There is no time frame for it. It's just things that I have to accomplish, which I know I have to do. And once I learned that, I want to give you a takeaway on it is once you accomplish these things and once you scratch them off, it feels so satisfying, and you kind of like respect yourself more and trust yourself because you've held yourself responsible and accountable for that thing, and now you've accomplished it. So once you just, scratch it off or delete it, you'll be like, man, I'm a man of my words and I really did what I wrote I'm going to do. So it feels like, you've accomplished that goal. You see, our brains are designed not to hold ideas, but to have ideas. So, you get this idea, you write it down, and then you just not hold it, you forget about it. And okay, when it comes time for work, when it comes to doing my daily rituals, I'll check out my to-do list and I will just, scratch off all the things which I have accomplished for that day that I said I would. Tip number 5, time blocking. The power of when has helped me dramatically when it comes to this actual tip, because it really taught me what type of personality, what type of person I am, and how to actually block that time in my day to do this task or to do this activity. And it also teaches you what are the main things that you have to do throughout your day on the exact specific time based on your personality test quiz which you take in the beginning of the book. So, for example, I was categorized under the dolphin, okay? He made it into a simpler way, more fancy way by saying, okay, you could be an early owl or an early bird, and then gradually, he would change the animal based on what time do you prefer to get up, what time do you prefer to do your daily exercise, what time do you prefer to eat, and these are all the questions that you do in the beginning of the book in the quiz, and then he will start to give you all these conclusions on what you do at that time. And I just also again use my phone. I would go to my calendar and I will just block this time, like say for example from 8 to 9 a.m. I will do my exercise and I will do my daily planning. I'll just have that written down in my calendar, repeated every single day, so I don't need to actually remember, okay, what do I have today at this time? Okay, let me go back and check. No, I don't have to do all that. I will just wait and see my phone. Whenever a pop-up comes up, I'm like, okay, let's do that. Tip number 6, the Parkinson's Law. What the Parkinson's Law states is, if you don't set deadlines, what you are doing or said you will do will expand as much as it can and will never finish. And that leaves us to procrastination, that leaves us to being overwhelmed, and that leaves us to being simply lost, because we know our stop period, but we did not set a deadline because we think that we don't know when the deadline will be, and by setting a deadline, we will ruin the whole task. But in reality, it's the opposite. If you do not set the deadline, you're going to ruin the whole task because, one, you will not have that knowledge and experience on how long these tasks usually take based on your previous mistakes. Second of all, it's just going to keep flowing. Just like the Parkinson's Law says, it's going to keep spreading, and you're going to keep delaying and procrastinating because you have not set the deadline. Next thing you know it, you forget about the whole thing and you did not accomplish anything. Tip number 7, use protected time. So basically, again, what this book has told me is I have to block this time throughout the day in order for me to accomplish what I said I will accomplish. For example, I've got 2 protected times. My major, mainly daily protected time that are fixed that in the past 3 to 5 years. Number 1, the morning. I've got like 1 to 2 hours protected time for my, rituals, the things that I do for myself, whether it's meditation and praying or planning or even exercising. And end of the day, I also do have a protected time for meditation and praying to recover what I did the whole day and what to best utilize and absorb by squeezing what has happened through my day and the lessons in order to progress and develop myself. Tip number 8, delegation. Now this word, people who love the DIY phrase, do it yourself, hate it simply because they are management freaks. Mainly they are workaholics or entrepreneurs, and they hate to trust someone else, or they hate being a team player in their daily life or work because simply they think that nobody does it better than themselves, and that is absolutely not true. All these people who made it in their life are team players and hire team members and have a team that is better than them in what they actually do. because nobody can do it alone. And if you're not positive about this, then you will nowhere near succeed in your life. So here's a tip that I learned when it comes to delegation. Say, for example, you want to accomplish a task, but you feel like you don't understand about this task, or you simply just hate doing it. So what do you actually do? Let me give you a tip. Know your hourly rate. It's very important that you do know how much your hourly rate is based on your skills, work, and experience. So what you can do is see your hourly rate at your current job or business, okay? Say, for example, your hourly rate is 25, okay? Now you guess your hourly rate by dividing your income by how many hours you work for that income, okay? So say, for example, you know your salary, how much it is end of the month. You divide that salary by how many hours you worked to get that salary, and you simply just know your hourly rate, okay? So let's say your hourly rate is $25, just as an example, and you came up with a task that you hate to do and you wish to delegate it, okay, to somebody else who does it. What you can do is you pay someone else $25 in order to complete that task for you within that hour, okay? So it's the same thing. If you worked for it, or you give to someone else who would work for it, and you doing something else that you feel is more valuable to you. Now, delegation doesn't necessarily have to be something that you don't really like. It can also be something that you really love to do, but you just want to build that team around you just in case you want to go on holiday, or you want to put your business or work into automation. The work and income does not stop. So it is very, very crucial to understand this point. Time management number 9 is to automate scheduling. And I use the iPhone. I use my phone to automate scheduling simply by, again, go to the calendar and just, repeating the task whenever I want it to be repeated. Say, for example, I want to remind myself every single day to wear the seatbelt, okay? So I know approximately what time I'll be in the car throughout my day. So I'll just hit like 9 a.m. wear seatbelt. And I would click the option that we have in the calendar which says repeat. And it will tell you when do you want it to be repeated, like what time. The same time which you have set it, or is it another time? So you just put the time, put repeat, and you can put the alert on. So every single day or every single week or every single month, whenever you want that event to happen, you will just check your phone and you will see the pop-up because you already automated that scheduling. Time management tip number 10, the choice to be satisfied. You don't have to beat yourself end of the day for the things that you did not accomplish, because at least you have the intention at hand and you've set your plan and goal in place. So you're already on the right track. If you did not accomplish that goal, just simply feel like it's okay. I will accomplish my task once again in the next chat that I get, which is tomorrow. So that being said is you stop the internal killing of yourself, and you just start to feel good about yourself. Because if you start to feel good about yourself and reward yourself and forgive yourself, you get to be more positive. And the more positive you get to become, the more you get to trust yourself. And the more you get to trust yourself, the more action you get to take. And it's like a never-ending cycle. But when it comes to beating yourself and killing yourself, then you're stuck in a black hollow loop which will take you nowhere but drain you. So we don't want that to happen.